The idea of Beam hypothetically going to the price of 25 cents doesn't even feel that bad to me, even though nothing I say is financial advice. Oftentimes, I talk about Beam and the idea of it may be going to the price of $1. But sometimes people don't want to hear that and they say that, you know what, we want to hear a different scenario because they don't want to just hear anything about $1 when it comes to Beam. So, okay, let's tone things down. 75% less than what I think Beam could hypothetically reach. That's 25 cents. Now, I still don't think this is too bad anyways, because at the price of 25 cents, that's around a 32x from here. I mean, that's kind of crazy to think about, actually. But even besides that, is 25 cents too much to ask for? I don't really think so, because if it were to go to that price, considering current circulating supply, market cap would be around $12.5 billion. Really kind of minuscule in the grand scheme of things. I mean, let's just put some perspective into this, right? If let's say something like Bitcoin reached around a $6 trillion market cap and the price was around $300,000, and let's say Ethereum, for whatever reason, during that time, reached around a $2 trillion market cap, that's combined $8 trillion, right? Just from those two projects alone, not including any other project. Are we saying that out of $8 trillion, in theory, around 12.5 billion can't somewhere along there flow into this? This is just my perspective. Now, again, only time will tell. However, it just doesn't seem too much like a tall order, in my opinion. And if we take a look at it, right, Beam is becoming one of these premier projects in the blockchain gaming space. Not too long ago, it was considered a kind of a joke to many people, but as of right now, it's really beginning to showcase that, you know what, this could be something amazing here. Traditionally, people like Gala, they like Engine, but I feel like the hype of them, even though I'm very bullish on Gala and Engine, I still think they have a future. But it just kind of felt like the hype and attention really is kind of left behind back in 2021. We haven't seen that type of attention, even a glimpse of it as of right now. Granted, we're nowhere near a fully fledged board when it comes to altcoins, in my opinion. But when it comes to Beam, it feels like the hype and attention has taken over, which I don't think is a bad thing, by the way. It showcases that, you know what, Beam has been able to kind of overtake the, traditionally speaking, premier go-to projects within this space. And if we take a look at Beam, I think what makes it really fantastic is the fact that, I get it, again, every project out there kind of feels like, oh, it's only focused on blockchain gaming, who cares? But really, Beam has other aspects to it. Like, for instance, Beam Swap, which is a decentralized exchange. We take a look at the Beam Layer 0 bridge, which is a bridging solution to transfer tokens between Beam and other blockchains, not to mention an NFT marketplace called the Sphere, and also Beam OS, which is a portal for exploring tools and apps on the chain, which is a little bit boring, but even besides that, also there's the Beam Block Explorer, a tracking platform for all Beam transactions and statistics. So if we think about it, Beam has kind of graduated beyond this kind of boring blockchain gaming project. Even though I don't think it's boring, there's other aspects to it, and I do like that. I think it makes it very interesting, actually. And if we take a look at blockchain gaming as a whole, I get it, it's not the best as of right now, but I think it could be better, and there's room for improvement there. So I do like how Beam is in blockchain gaming currently, because after all the improvements have been made when it comes to blockchain gaming, like for instance, the usually, traditionally speaking, very bad tokenomics and also gameplay that isn't that good. We see that a lot, right, with many blockchain games out there. But I think the fact that Beam is in the space when things haven't really taken off yet is a good thing. I mean, in a lot of industries, in my opinion, when things are just getting started, they don't have all the answers there yet, right? At least they don't have all the answers to every question. So I think it's actually a good thing that Beam is entering right now, because after all the improvements have been made, then that's a little bit too late, right? I want to be a part of that journey, and Beam, hypothetically, could very well be something like that for me. And think about it, right? The blockchain gaming market is expected to exceed $300 billion by 2030, according to Grandview Research. That's a very massive market. And what is Beam trying to specifically do when it comes to blockchain gaming? One of the amazing things about Beam is the fact that it's an open source blockchain specialized for gaming. And one of the main components of it is called the Beam SDK. And SDK stands for Software Development Kit. And what this does is that it allows game developers to choose from a variety of tools that can be used to fuel and structure their in-game blockchain elements. So I think all of this is really good. Beam isn't an overly complicated project, and I do like that. It's very simple, very easy to understand. If I want to take a look at it at its most simple form, it's basically focused on blockchain gaming, but of course, there's other aspects to it. But again, I do like this, and I think it allows for many people to actually kind of know what the project is all about, right? If they're trying to overly confuse, people, it feels like sometimes I see a lot of projects do that. It just kind of feels like, oh man, it's kind of like annoying in a sense. But this one isn't, in my opinion, at least in my perspective. And some people may be thinking, whoa, 25 cents, how can it reach that? Let's say before the end of this year, they may think, 6 months is not enough time. Sometimes people may be thinking that way. And here's the thing. In the world of cryptocurrencies, things hypothetically move very quickly. We're not talking about the S&P 500. We're not talking about gold. We're not talking about some random boring stocks. We're not talking about that. Even the largest cryptocurrency out there, Bitcoin, take a look at how fast that moved. And that's the biggest thing out there again, right? And it still moved very quickly. 25 cents may seem like a tall order to some people, but I don't think that type of movement is going to take like a decade. You know what I mean? It just doesn't seem like that is really something that is in the picture for me. In the world of cryptocurrencies, again, things typically move very quickly. But again, it's very difficult to predict the exact moment in time because I've never been able to do that. Things hypothetically peak when we least expect it to do so. I've made good calls, in my opinion, like for instance, ZBCN, XCN, Toshi, those are some examples, right? Also, Floki, I made a very good call on Floki as well. But in my opinion, I wasn't able to predict the exact moment in time. And I don't think I'm going to be able to do that when it comes to Beam either. Hypothetically, I could very well see it doing good, maybe, but I don't know the exact moment in time. You know what I mean? But what can I do to prepare myself for a moment in which it does wake up? And that's just by acquiring, holding, and just waiting. That's it. That's the only thing I can control. Because if I'm just consistently acquiring, holding, and just waiting, and the market does eventually wake up and it does do its thing, then I'm prepared for that, right? It's not like I have to be paying attention to the screen all day and then I'm like, oh man, I have to predict the exact moment it pumps. Again, I'm not a day trader. I don't swing trade. I don't do any of this type of stuff. For me, the market again is going to wake up when it wants to wake up. So I want to be there for a moment in which it does that by just being in the market. You know what I mean? Just being in the projects that I like because again, if that altcoin season really is in fully fifth gear, I'm just very excited when it comes to Beam and also a bunch of other altcoins. Imagine if that Bitcoin dominance drops and that altcoin season really kicks in. Man, I just think Beam could maybe do something special. Right now it's Bitcoin's time. Yes, it recently reached a new all-time high. Very good. But what could it do in the next 6 to 10 months? Maybe a 3x max? Let's say it goes to around the price of $300,000. It's okay. But I'm not looking for a 3x. Beam could hypothetically do way better than a 3x given the same time frame. So logically speaking, what's more risky for me? I think Beam when compared to Bitcoin, but it doesn't mean I'm going to not choose it because I don't want a 3x, especially as of right now. I'm not going to FOMO into Bitcoin currently. That makes no sense. Imagine if like Beam went to the price of like 8 cents and I said, oh yeah, time for me to FOMO all into Beam. Would make no sense, right? Same goes when it comes to Bitcoin. Why would I FOMO all into it when it's already over the price of $100,000? Makes no sense. Beam is the winner for me, at least when it comes to something that I really want to believe in, and 25 cents wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. I don't think it's that bad for me anyways. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I greatly appreciate it. It's Lee the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm a peace. Bye.